Alright, I'm doing One Piece review 538. Started off quite good. As we all know that those guys are taking steroids to gain strength, power. I thought of that. So there ain't no, I don't think there's any special ability that guy Hardy has. Start off with Zoro defeating Hardy, and Hardy henchmen, they didn't believe that, so they're really upset and angry. Even Hardy himself couldn't believe that he was defeated by a mere human. So as we all know, Zoro has been down the water the whole time he was fighting that guy. In fact, that it took him down in his own element, damn, that's something that those guys didn't expect. And that really pissed off Hardy and his men. So they went off to kill that guy, Zoro. They took the steroid pills to upgrade their strength and build up muscles, and they were really, really dangerous at that time. So Zoro was like, swimming as fast as a human ass, just to get out that water, get to the hair. While he was swimming, Neptune, Usopp, and Brook was at the surface. Usopp was real worried about Zoro, what would happen to him. No stuff. So he was there, he was struggling beneath the water. Zoro was really struggling beneath the water. And then they were trying to, the only thing that Zoro could have done was defend right at that time. Couldn't have fight those guys. Cause while under the water, it take excessive, energy to move that fast and those stuff. And then he used a line strike. So don't underestimate me. And then they were like on the ground. I don't really quite remember too much of that, but as we went to the surface, those guys just picked up the mermaid guys' army one at a time, and Kid Neptune couldn't have found a better way to resolve the problem than to make a current that runs throughout the palace and goes down to the fisherman island or something like that. So while he was making that current, he said he was don't have the military strength he once had when he was, I wonder how it would have been back then. Because now he's just weak. Barely can defend his palace. But he tried his best to put his men to ease that. Let him go. So Usopp and the guys and Brook were getting this air oxygen thing, so they could breathe. Zoro, he mistakenly, his version was lost. So he was underwater, struggling a lot. So after making that current, there weren't any time for him, the King Neptune, to go through the current itself. So Hardy took another steroid, and that weird thing that they call Hoey or whatever it was named, grab a hold of King Neptune. They were going through the current. Right about they were about to reach outside, Hardy hold on to the King Neptune. So as you all know, he was really weak, so there's nothing he could have done about it. And then he just fell on the ground, just like that. Back where King Neptune's son was, I think it was his son. They were getting enough details of where the stories might be, what might have occurred here or those stuff. At that time, they don't know that Hardy and his guys ain't the fishermen and something like that. So he heard this message, and one of the Hardy men gave him that told the town or something like that was under attack. He was asking if his mother was okay. So they were on their way to tour the town to see what was going on there. we all know all these men are going on their wild rampage, killing all those people. You know, hope to get to see more of those guys. Meanwhile, Luffy reach the sea forest. Him and Sanji, Chopper, the queen, princess, I should say, they all reach. They saw Frankie there first. And there was this funny part that when Luffy saw this guy in his boat, he was saying, you know, who's that guy? You know? And Frankie said, this guy is my shipwrecked brother. So he's here to, you know, refresh the sunny itself. So Luffy said most stuff. Said, your brother here, who's, you know, said it in a certain way that I didn't want to understand. Luffy has his own way of understanding things, but it was funny, you know. Sanji woke up, man. After they saw Frankie, saw Jimbie. Those guys haven't met each other 2 years since they've, you know, was it 7th or 8th. So Luffy was really shocked. Jimbei knew that Luffy was on the island, so I was really shocked to see him that strong. And Jimbei was like there, and he was like, you know, talking to Luffy, and he was about to tell Luffy the reason why, you know, told him not to fight harder and stuff. Princess told him, Jimbei, long time no see you, and Jimbei said, long time no see you, princess. Then man says, what? What is the princess doing here? No, stop. You know, see the reaction in his face was really shocking. You know what I'm saying? And then Nami and this girl that came in this boat like thing. You know, Nami was like, you know, happy to see everyone there. She was like gazing on that Jimbei, you know. Finally land, and that Jimbei confessed to something. That Jimbei confessed to something like he wasn't trying to tell the Straw Hats about what he was about to confess about. But the fact that Luffy destroyed Orlang back then, he's telling them what he probably would have told them if he knew Luffy back then. The truth about what happened. Jimbei shouldn't be sorry about that, because the fact that he knew Luffy now, and he knew Luffy was the person that destroyed Orlang, was really, you know, appropriate to tell him, but he didn't knew him back then, so I wouldn't say it's his fault, you know, for what might go on to the next chapter. But it's like he's saying, the reason why Orlang and those guys were, you know, taking over the East Blue for so long and those things, and they've been running wild, was because I was the one who, you know, let them run for so long. He didn't say I was the one who let them run, but it's like he's saying it's his fault that those guys were, you know, out there doing all the stuff to people. And like Nami, she got goosebumps. She was so shocked, which she shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Because what had happened, you know, Jimbei could have prevented it, but it already happened. We can't change the outcome of what might happen, what happened back then. The fact that she had, you know, these guys that was there for her, and, you know, she was by herself, it changed the outcome of her life forever. I don't want her to be haunted by what happened just because of this reminder story that brings her there, but I want her to know that whatever might have happened, you know, Jimbei's here to set it right. Don't look at him as one of those person that, you know, is just like those guys you knew. fact that he confessed to him because he knows he's done wrong. He thinks he's done wrong and wanted, he wanted us to tell you from now because I knew for a fact that Jimbei was, kind of really worried that the Straw Hats would get in the vein with another of all men, which is Artie. And I think that's the reason why he wanted to prevent Luffy to fight Hardy, because he didn't want to get him involved in the trouble that he was involved with all along back then. He didn't want that, didn't want him to, fight another of those guys. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, they're telling all the guys that he was the reason why they were roaming. That number was seeing the resemblance between him and Alan. The tattoo and the things that they've done, that he had a good link with those guys. She's like really shocked. Not angry, but she's shocked. She's surely shocked. And I don't want her to be that sorry ass cry baby or whatever it might be. She should just know the fact that this guy is here by Luffy's side and Luffy trusts him. And you guys should trust him as well. And Jimbei ain't here done no harm. Who cares if he was this guy who, let those All-In guys free? Who cares? But he's like telling Luffy them now the reason, all this crap, why All-In was wrong, and Luffy was, shocked, but I don't think Luffy, sorry guys, I don't think Luffy take it, no way. It's a long while now since All-In was going to feel that there was no reason for, straw stuff in your heads. It's just a minor enemy of them now. Minor enemy. And he was easily destroyed, He put up a fight. All-In put up a fight. But he was easily destroyed. He just needed the right people to teach him some shit ass, karate moves. So I want to see what this Hardy guy has in store for the struggle, because I know that Luffy ain't gonna make those guys go along free, because they just heard that Neptune has been defeated now. Luffy will do everything in his power to protect girl he calls Coward. So I'm willing to see what they might do. And I hope Jimbei get into action as well. If he feels that he's done wrong, he can easily make it up to them by, beating those guys with Straw as well. Well, my opinion on this chapter, this episode was good. A lot of action, a lot of confessions, comedy that was there, especially this one when, all Hardy's guys was there, man, and they were saying, I have no idea what is that. And then the other guy was saying, whose skeletonized body is that? And Brook was there, yeah, under the water. So half of the shorts has been reunited. Jimbei has been reunited with Luffy, and half of the shorts, quarter of the shorts have been destroyed, defeated. Then there's certain breaking points that you cannot get yourself out of. Like for example, Zoro, he's finished. He's unconscious. And Brook, Neptune, and so next week chapter, I hope they move on to whatever Jimbei confessed and look towards what is mainly getting them out of now, because he don't want them to get into something that we're in the first place. But Jimbei know that Luffy's a determined guy. If any means necessary, Jimbei will stick by Luffy's side and help him through anything, because you know that's what Ace told him. That's what he done the whole time he met him. Jimbei is a good man. He's probably the strongest man that Luffy look up to so far. And I hope this isn't the last time we're gonna see him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a great chapter. Good chapter.